Greetings everybody, my name is Kirilo and this is Real Map Talk. Today I'm gonna be talking about a map called Keep of the Grass 2. It was created by Hemp. So let's enable the debug menu and start. This map is pretty similar to another map which I reviewed in my previous video called Forest Path. So this map is a little bit bigger and expansion locations are in different places, but overall the idea is very similar. This map also has much more ore, so you can build bigger army here and you will probably won't starve here. So each player starts in the corner and he has 2 ore mines and a lot of ore. So you don't have to expand immediately, but I'll talk about that in a bit. And each expansion has 3 ore mines, and initially the expansion doesn't have any ore, so there is no point to rush to that location, but as you can see it refills really fast. The rate is really high, so it's 1 minute and 10 seconds and there is already plenty of ore. And in the middle there are gems protected by the walls, but these are two ore mines, not gem mines. So yeah, as I said before, the idea is pretty similar. You have to capture this area and you win, but you can, since these expansions have a lot of ore and ore mines, alternative route is to capture both expansions and ignore middle. And this map is not that bad, and it's much better than Forest Path because of these choices. So if you lost middle, no problem, you can expand here and there and you will be able to win. However, the person who expands to the middle has a great advantage, because initial advantage, because of gem mines. This is also a raid attack map, but you can live with tanks here as well, so small tank blobs work here. And I would say artillery really shines on this map. So when you start and expand, for example, like here, from this position, you can build around here, build a couple defenses and place your artilleries behind, so they could be really protected. And your opponent would need to use yaks or hinds to snipe them, and it's really hard and wasteful. So if you build your expansion here, then artilleries will not probably be that good, but if you attack this position, for example, my opponent expanded to this position and I expanded here, a sneak expansion, and if I have some artilleries, it's really easy to attack this expansion. But practice shows that your opponent typically expands somewhere here, so it still doesn't matter. Still, artilleries and V2s are very useful. I would actually favor artilleries on this map, but V2s are also nice. Let's just stop this. Right. And the AI doesn't have to have any income. Alright, nice. So yeah, I'd like to talk more about the initial ore. This map was redesigned by SoScared, and besides some visual changes, the initial ore was also redesigned a bit. so it's more favor. If I recall correctly, in the original version, the ore for the top left player was in the corner, like here. And now it's more balanced, but there is one gotcha about this ore. And this advice is applicable to both expansions. So when you place your first refinery, you can place it like here, but I cannot do that now because the ore grows. So let's imagine I placed it like here. My advice would be to focus your ore truck and harvest this border ore first. So the idea is that you could place your second refinery, if you want, closer to the ore mine, so harvester can mine faster. It's just a small advice. I don't think it's crucial, but I think it gives some advantage. But you don't really have to place second refinery here at all. Some players just, like me, like to place one ore refinery per one ore mine, for example. And on this map you also want to move your original MCV, although it's not really required, but if you don't do that and, for example, go for a service depot, then your expansion is delayed. And the problem is, if your opponent double expands, for example, and you don't expand, you would be outscaled. What I mean is, the faster you expand, the better your economy is, and this is really important on this small map. So it's really hard to attack a well-defended base, and if your opponent has two bases and one is fortified, for example, and the other is not, you would need to attack one of the bases, and, for example, if you destroy his weak expansion, he still has another one, and while you were attacking him, he was mining from another expansion safely, and you are really at disadvantage. So on this small map, and in general, in my opinion, in OpenArray, on small maps you want to be expanding really fast as possible. So although I sometimes play with safe expansions on this map and go in service depot first, I think the strongest strategy is to go for the raid attack and expand with your original MCV. The tricky part is to protect your MCV while moving here. Like when you undeploy and move, your MCV is really vulnerable, and, for example, a small blob of light tanks or flak trucks can destroy it and you would lose the game. So when you expand, you always want to protect your MCV here. And as for the wall, it favors Soviets as always, since grenadiers are much faster than rocket soldiers at destroying the wall. But it's not that crucial, since you could, for example, send one rocket soldier in the very beginning of the game and protect him, obviously, and eventually, when you are ready to expand, that wall would be destroyed. But I wouldn't say allies are weak on this map. I think they are stronger because of their artilleries, since on this map you can base walk without huge problems. You don't need huge blobs here. You don't want to attack because this map is quite small and the chokes they could be easily protected with defense structures. So what you want to do is to base walk, for example here, build a couple defense structures, start firing from this position with your artilleries, and your opponent would need to attack you, and eventually you will probably win the game. So, but it's not that simple, like it's all theory. Practice shows that this map can produce some interesting games, and it's really, for example, if you mine from here and your opponent decides to attack you, it's really hard to defend this area. So if this wall is removed and your harvester has this passage, it can be blocked with a husk, for example a tank, and in general you cannot place defense structures here, so you would need to move your army to protect this area, since if you don't control the other side of the wall, your opponent can use rocket soldiers to destroy your harvesters. So in general I would avoid middle and expand to that position later. But if your opponent is really aggressive, then you would need to do something. You cannot really allow him to mine there safely. And as for the visual design, this map is quite nice. I really like it, really beautiful. And look at this ridge and trees, and this one. It is kind of mirrored, but it's interesting technique. So this ridge is smaller, but this one is bigger. But the trees compensate the size of the ridge. So I really like this. And walling off on this map is also easy, but once upon a time I made a mistake, and I saw this mistake by other players. So they wall off like, let me just, perhaps like this. I don't remember exactly. So because of this one cell, your opponent can go through here. So if you walled off like this, yeah, so walling off can be hard on this map. So if you are in a haste and you really have to pay attention, for example if you want to protect this side. And it's a really strong technique. So for example, if you want to expand here, you can wall off here, so no more engineers, for example. And yeah, it's like walls are strong, especially if you are allies, you can't really attack this at all. So you would need to protect to build artilleries. What else? Yeah, so there is not really much to talk about this map. So expand as fast as possible, preferably to these corner areas, and you'll be good. Also base scrolling works amazingly. And sorry for the short analysis, but I don't really have much to talk about this map. This map is good and I really like it. So thanks for watching, and see you in next videos.